Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of SimplyHealed webinar. And today we are very honored and blessed to have with us Dr. Joel Lopez. Dr. Joel Lopez is from the Joel Lopez Medical Group, all right? And Dr. Joel Lopez is US trained in integrative medicine, physician and certified nutrition specialist. So he focuses on preventive medicine, age management. So when you see him, he looks nothing like age. He looks very young. And holistic treatment of chronic degenerative diseases and age-related disorders. And Dr. Joel is also quite an expert on the immune system, and that's why we invited him this morning to have this webinar where he's going to share with us on the immune system and how. And I think that's a topic that's very interesting during this COVID pandemic. So let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Joel. Hi, Doc.
Hi, good morning.
It's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good, hanging in there.
Hanging in there. It's been 2 months of lockdown already here in the Philippines. And I think everybody is getting very agitated.
Cabin fever. We call it cabin fever.
Yeah. No, last week we had a webinar and we were just talking about the nature of the COVID virus, right? That is an RNA virus, and that also other RNA viruses in the past, like SARS, HIV, MERS, we've not successfully had any vaccines for any of them, right, Doc? And
no.
dengue.
And yeah, they've been trying since 2003 without any success. So
professionally, I know we are all hoping for a vaccine. What does this mean, Doc? For a doctor like yourself, what's your strategy for your patients? Because should we just hope for a vaccine, or what do we do?
Well, there are current treatments available. However, you don't hear much about it from the news. Among the most popular ones would be the anti-malarial drug called hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
And if a person doesn't want to do any synthetic form of medication, they could actually use an alternative such as quercetin, which is a bioflavonoid. What it does, similar to hydroxychloroquine, is that it helps the zinc actually penetrate into the cell. And it's the zinc mineral that actually prevents viral replication as well as transcription of viral proteins.
Oh, zinc. So zinc is an important component of the immune system. Wow, that's really good. Okay, Doc, this morning, what we hope to achieve for all our audience this morning is two things. One, let's have an understanding of how the immune system works. And Doc, if you could elaborate, because I know you have a wonderful video for us on how the immune system works, right? Yeah, and I've seen the video. You're going to enjoy it. It's a short video, but it's made in a way that's so easy to understand. So we're going to play that video soon. But after that, Doc, I hope that you can also explain to us what's adaptive immune system and the innate immune system. And so that's the first thing that we want to do today, which is learn about the immune system. Number two is, can you give us tips on how to prep the immune system? What's important components of the immune system, and how do we strengthen it?
Yeah, sure.
Could you share with us what's the key components of the immune system? You mentioned it to me before. There's an innate immune system and an adaptive immune system. Can you share with us more about these two topics?
Sure. Well, the immune system is our body's defense against toxins, tumors, as well as germs, including viruses, bacteria, fungus, and parasites. So it's divided into innate and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is something that we're born with, while adaptive immunity is something that develops after we're born.
So does this mean that everybody's innate immune ability is pretty much the same?
Yeah, innate immunity is less specific than adaptive immunity. So it's more generalized. And it's actually divided into a couple of components. So
All right.
there's physical barriers. So this includes the skin and mucous membranes, as well as chemical barriers. So these are like enzymes produced in tears, which is called lysozyme, as well as hydrochloric acid in the stomach. So these are things that could actually...
Our tears are part of our immune system?
Yeah, it has this enzyme that could actually kill off bacteria and other germs. And it's called lysozyme.
So it protects our eyes because our eyes are where germs can go in. Oh.
Yes.
Does this mean that if you take a tear, it's actually antiviral?
You could say that, I guess.
Oh, that's very interesting. All right, so ladies and gentlemen out there, our tears are part of our immune system. Oh, so watching Korean drama and crying out is actually activating your immune system. My mom is very happy with this new medical fact. She's gonna watch more Korean dramas.
Yes.
All right.
Then there are certain cells in the body called macrophages, neutrophils, as well as monocytes. These are also part of our innate immune system.
So I remember from the video that you showed us, the macrophage cells are the ones that goes out and eats up the foreign bacteria and viruses, right?
Exactly, and the term is called autophagy.
Okay.
Yeah, so with the adaptive immunity, that consists of cells such as the T and the B lymphocytes. So the T lymphocytes are more like for cell-mediated immunity, while B cells are for humoral immunity. That's the one that actually produces antibodies.
When we take vaccines, what are we actually trying to create or stimulate? Are we stimulating the adaptive innate immunity or the adaptive or the innate immunity?
More on the adaptive immunity.
Oh, so
yeah, because what we're trying to do is stimulate the body to produce antibodies.
Okay.
However, if you have nutritional deficiencies, then your body is not able to exert or produce enough antibodies. So best to probably get a natural exposure, because when you get natural exposure from infections, then you'll be able to produce lifelong immunity. Whereas vaccine, sometimes you have to do it several times because you're not able to generate enough antibodies. That's why you're given boosters.
Oh, okay. Doc, this is very interesting. You just mentioned that you could actually have lifelong immunity and vaccines normally don't produce lifelong immunity, and then you need boosters. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that? How come vaccines don't give you the lifelong immunity? So the best way to get lifelong immunity, is it to actually get the disease itself, or how?
Yeah, exactly. Like for instance, if a person has chickenpox, then that confers lifelong immunity. However, if a person's immune system goes down, they could develop something called varicella zoster, which is like a reinfection. So that only happens when an immune system, person's immune system goes down.
Wow. So I was told since young that if you get chickenpox, you only get it once, right? But actually,
yeah, usually just once. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, I have actually encountered people who got it like 1.5 times or 2 times. It's like as if like the second or first one was not full blown. So that happens because the immune system actually got compromised, got dropped.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, but then, Doc, how come we get flu? We get a flu, and we don't get a lifelong immunity to flu. We get flu again.
That's a good question, Sharon. Because actually, the virus mutates quickly. So let's say you had a vaccine today. It would only protect you from the strains from a year ago. So it won't protect you from the mutated strains. So that's why you have to have the shot on a regular basis, like on a yearly basis, if you do the flu shots.
Oh, wow. I recently saw a documentary, Doc, that it says that the pharmaceutical industry has teams of very smart researchers, the virologists, who actually go out and see what's the most likely strains that are coming up, and they update the vaccines every year. Wow. So that's exactly what you're sharing. Oh, so does this mean that, well, that means we get flu like, well, I get flu like once every 5 years, but because I have a strong immune system, but the people that get flu every year, so it really means that the flu that they got is, every year the flu is different from the year before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
in fact, a lot of like medical workers, like nurses or doctors who work in the hospitals, probably 40% of them don't get the flu shots because sometimes it actually trigger the flu.
They get exposed to the freshest strain of flu every time they go into the hospital. Wow, that's Doc. I mean, as we talk about this, it really seems like even if the vaccine comes, COVID will still be around because the COVID virus mutates very quickly, right? I mean, from Wuhan to today, it's only been about 6 months, but there are already six different strains of COVID-19 viruses. So
yeah, and I actually read recently that there's about 30 strains now.
30 strains now.
30, yeah.
So how
so that's why the presentation in every country is like different.
Oh my God, then how are we going to ever develop a vaccine? It's very likely that it's going to be like SARS. Or...
Yeah, by the time they develop one, then the original strain is gone.
Oh, wow. So what is the strategy going forward? I mean, what can we do?
Yeah, the best thing is to still optimize our immune system health by making sure that our nutritional status is optimal or perfect. We can't reach that because, again, our food is not as mineral dense. So we're not getting enough nutrients from our food. So at this point in time, everybody needs to take some food supplements. We can't rely on just our food alone. That's what I mean.
Wow, Doc, for all the listeners out there, I think this is a very pertinent information from Dr. Joel. Dr. Joel just highlighted that our immune system needs nutrients to fuel it. And we can't get these nutrients from our daily food. Really difficult. I mean, many people are living off canned food. I just got wonderful free tuna and sardines from my barangay. I don't know whether your barangay is giving you some sleep. Okay, but they gave us some sleep. And I've eaten a lot of canned sardines. I doubt that they will help my immune system.
It's a good source of vitamin D, though.
It's a good source of vitamin D. Doc, I have a question about the adaptive immune system. That is something that we develop over as we go through life, right? So there are a lot of parents out there. Is it good for children to live in a very sterile and clean environment, or do we need to like sort of allow them to be exposed to viruses? You know, because right now, I know I have niece and nephew, right? So my sister wants to keep them like in a bubble. But I remember I was young. We were playing in the rain, in the dirty canals, and we didn't get sick.
Same thing here, actually. Actually, we need to be exposed.
The mud. You look so neat.
Actually, we need to be exposed to germs to be able to train our immune system. If we all live in a plastic bubble and there's no exposure to germs, then our immune system won't be trained, quote unquote.
So is it good? Is it good for like parents to always sanitize the house? You know, I know some OCD moms out there. My sister, one of them. They literally, the house is sanitized all the time. You know, if the kids drop their toy on the floor, straight away you sanitize the toy. I mean, are those actually good practices, or is that something that we need to modulate a little?
There has to be a balance between too much disinfection as well as getting dirt from our environment. Yeah, because some people use like harmful disinfectants, and those could cause more problems long term. Like something as simple as alcohol, if you just keep on applying alcohol, besides drying your skin, it would actually kill the microbiome on your skin. So we also have good bacteria on our skin. But if you keep on using alcohol, that'll sterilize your skin, and actually you'll get more prone to developing infections, skin infections, if you keep on doing that.
Oh, so the habit of all the ladies, I know ladies, it was such a trend to carry a little, like they hook it onto their handbag, and it's a hand sanitizer. So I see people using sanitizers all the time. My wife gets upset with me. Did you wash your hands, before you eat? And, being a guy, yeah, I did, so what you're saying is that, I mean, if you use hand sanitizers like 5-6 times a day, you actually do the reverse. You open yourself to infection.
Yeah, because we have our body's defense system, and that includes our skin. And our skin actually has good bacteria in it as well.
Oh,
so if you kill the good bacteria on our skin, then you get more prone to infection by the harmful bacteria. So it's part of our immune system as well.
Wow. So what is the good gauge? How often should you use hand sanitizer?
Good question. I can tell you that. But as long as you use the natural hand sanitizers, it should be okay.
Okay. I mean, Doc, to our listeners out there, this is something very real. I think all the guys are whooping, woo, 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 and all the moms are going, oh, all right? Because the dads always say, don't want to shower the kids. Yeah, but I just wanted to share everybody, it's the same when you have diarrhea, right, Doc? When we have diarrhea and we poo-poo so much, all the good bacteria in our stomach actually comes out too. And then when we take antibiotics as well, it destroys the good bacteria in our stomach and intestines. And after that, we keep having upset GI problems until we take probiotics to replace the natural biome. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's so good what you shared about the skin. I only found out that the skin actually has its natural biome, and it has good bacteria that prevents infection. So
and actually there is a product, I believe it's from Korea. It has it's a lotion that you apply to your skin, but it also has a probiotic in it. So it'll help protect your body actually.
Well, thank you for saying that, Doc. Here's the good news. It's actually a secret, but you brought it up. So, SimplyNature, we are actually clearing our FDA. We have a therapeutic level of probiotic. This is not a cosmetic product, so it's really for treatment. So these are probiotics that really will strengthen your biome very, very strongly. So we're gonna launch that hopefully by this year if the COVID doesn't hit. So thank you for that. All right, thank you, Doc, for giving us a good overview of the immune system. So everyone, now we know there are macrophages, T cells, NK cells, that you saw from the video that Dr. Joel shared with us. And he talked about our innate immune system, which is the skin, our tear ducts, all that, and our adaptive immune system, which is also highlighted in the video. So we'll move on to part 2 of our webinar today, which is how do we maintain our immune system? What does our immune system need? And perhaps, Dr. Joel, if you could recommend the top 3 things that we need to make sure that we have in order for us to have a basic, strong, innate, and adaptive immune system. All right, so let's jump straight into it, Doc. What makes our immune system work? Are there things that we need daily to allow our immune system to maintain itself, to run?
Yeah, well, we got to start with the basics, which is our diet. So ideally an anti-inflammatory diet consisting more of like plant-based food.
Okay.
However,
So,
there are those who have blood type O who actually need meat products.
I think all the blood type O people are cheering right now. love their baboy. I love baboy. Yeah, chicken.
Yeah, but if you do have meat, make sure it's organic or free range. You
Okay.
cannot eat commercial meat products because a lot of them have antibiotics, as well as some are injected with hormones. So those end up in our bodies too. So it's best to get the organic free range meat if you're going to have any type of meat products. But again, that's hardly possible nowadays.
Yeah.
So the
Sometimes
best
you
thing to do is
know the organic is organic.
yeah. Yeah, so a part of lifestyle that we should also do on a regular basis is to do regular detoxification.
Okay.
So detox should be part of our wellness program.
In your conversation with me, you mentioned that detox or your gut is actually part of our immune system.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that part of our immune system?
Yeah, because again, our immune system has to deal with toxicity, whether it comes from the environment or produced internally from metabolism. So if these toxic byproducts accumulate in the body, sometimes it could lead to autoimmune diseases.
So the first step is detox. So make sure you poo-poo.
Yeah, make sure that you have regular bowel movements, that you urinate properly, and that you breathe properly.
Even breathing?
Even breathing, yeah, because a lot of people hold their breaths. So it's leading to carbon dioxide toxicity. And that could lead to sleepiness, sometimes headaches if you have carbon dioxide retention.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've been feeling sleepy during this lockdown. I thought that was boredom. Maybe I'm not breathing deeply enough, right? And
so
our windows closed, so that might be, yeah. Oh, that's. I'm gonna try the deep breathing exercises. All right, that's very. Doc, when it comes to maintaining our nutritional needs for the immune system, what are like the most common deficiencies people have? Is it like zinc, iron, or what are the important minerals for the immune system? And are we generally deficient? So let's say if we just pick any of our webinar listeners right now, if you were to guess even before you do any tests on them, what do you think they will be deficient in, which affects their immune system?
Yeah, majority of people are deficient in vitamins B, C, as well as D.
Okay.
It's actually the vitamin C and D that we actually really need. We're one of the few mammals that doesn't produce vitamin C, so we need to get it from external sources.
Wow, that's interesting. I realized that my dog produces his own vitamin C, but
we don't.
Produce our own vitamin C. All right.
Yeah, and among mammals, goats supposedly produce a lot of vitamin C.
Oh wow. Okay,
Goats
that's it.
Yeah.
Vitamin D is one supplement that people generally don't take as much as vitamin C, right?
Yeah.
And we need to boost on that.
Yeah, and it's actually a very common deficiency. Before, when I was based in the States, I thought that you won't find vitamin D deficiency here in the tropics. But when I moved here, like in 2013, I found out that majority of Filipinos are also vitamin D deficient. And this is because we spend a lot of time indoors. So we're not getting enough sun exposure.
How important is vitamin D for the immune system? So if you're deficient in vitamin D, how does it affect you? I mean, is your immune system compromised by 10%, 20%? I mean, can we actually, can you number to that for us to understand?
Yeah, vitamin D actually helps in the production of CAMPs or catalycidin antimicrobial peptides. This is a substance that actually has antimicrobial properties. It actually helps kill off bacteria and viruses. So if you're not getting enough vitamin D, you don't produce enough CAMPs, which make you more prone to infections such as the ones from bacteria or viruses.
Wow, so this is really a frontline defense. It's not the immune system. It's not like you get infected and your immune system fighting back. But this is actually, vitamin D is important for the first invasion before the infection even sets in.
Yeah, and that's why there's a lot of like viral syndromes such as the flu during the winter months. In the tropics, you get more. Yeah, in the tropics, you get more of these viral infections during the rainy months, and that's because we don't get enough sun during the rainy months.
How many minutes of being in the sun do we need to get sufficient vitamin D? In for those of us who want to save money and not buy vitamin D.
Ideally, between 15 to 30 minutes a day.
Okay, in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
All right, 15 to 30 minutes a day. I don't think we get that now every day. Truly, I don't think we do. Because we're always in the shade. We're always in the shade, somewhere. All right, okay,
yeah,
wow.
And that's possibly why you hear about this second wave.
Yeah. Because everybody's locked down.
Yeah, everybody's locked down. Everybody's immune system is shut. So by the time we're released back into the society, a lot of us would be immunocompromised, and that's how you could explain the possible second wave.
Wow, that's very good insight. Wonderful, Dr. Joel. Thank you. Get your vitamin D, NC. Doc, any other minerals? You mentioned minerals. What are the common minerals that we are actually deficient in that affects our immune system?
Yeah, one of the more common mineral deficiencies is zinc deficiency.
Zinc? Wow.
Yeah.
We really definitely seldom take any zinc supplements at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's a very common micronutrient deficiency.
How important is zinc for our immune system?
Yeah, it's involved in like 300 metabolic processes in the body.
Wow.
That much. Yeah, it's important for blood sugar regulation. It's important for our hormones. It's important for our connective tissues. So just so many benefits from the use of the mineral zinc. But we're ending up with a lot of zinc deficiency because we're not getting enough nutrients, not enough of these anymore from our diet.
Wow, Doc, when you mentioned the things for zinc, you talk about blood sugar, you talk about connective tissue, you talk about, and these are the biggest problems in Philippines. It's diabetes. Everybody's diabetic. So this would be from a zinc deficiency. Filipinos who work in the city are looking older. Connective tissue. Wow, so looking younger and having firm skin and flesh, zinc is actually an important mineral?
Yeah, zinc, of course, vitamin C, which also is a precursor to your collagen.
So they work together. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we have wonderful tips. One last thing to ask, Doc. Is it totally necessary? Is it necessary to take supplements? Can we get enough nutrients from our daily food? Is that possible? Because there's such a push for, like, for example, veganism. Not any religious aspect, but really there's this real push for whole foods, plant-based whole foods. And I believe in that, but I also wonder, number one, it's very difficult to be totally vegan in the middle of us and in the country of everything pang inasal, Is it possible actually to meet our nutritional requirements, especially for a pandemic, just through our foods alone? I mean, and I'm not talking for the rich or people who are living on farms. I'm talking about normal people, Yeah.
Yeah, for those of us who live in the city, it's probably essential for us to take supplements because we're not getting enough nutrients from our food.
So it's not possible if you order takeout, if you go to Family Mart, to take the meal from Family Mart. So it's really not possible to get all the vitamin C, the D, the zinc, and other nutrients that you need without supplementation.
Not really. And even if you ate 100% organic, you won't be able to access all the nutrients that you need unless the food is grown in a biodynamic way. That means you rotate the crops.
What's a biodynamic way?
Yeah, it's a different type of agriculture. So basically you plant different crops on the soil on a yearly basis. So it's like what we call rotation. Yeah, rather than planting the same food crops yearly, because it actually would deplete the soil of certain minerals. Like if you keep on planting rice, it'll deplete the soil of certain nutrients. So this is what biodynamic farming is. So you actually rotate the crops that you plant on a yearly basis.
I think that's a very interesting point that you brought up, because, you know, for example, if we say that Popeye eats spinach, right, because it's supposed to be rich in iron, but the plants don't make iron. The iron comes from the soil. Yeah. So if the soil that the spinach is grown in has no more iron, even the spinach will be low in iron when it's supposed to be high enough.
That's right.
So, wow, this is wow, it's a lot to consider. So it's really difficult. So we really need to supplement. Wow. Doc, I mean, this is a more practical question for the everyday salary person, right? Worker. Mm-hmm. How much do we need to budget a month for supplementation? I mean, if I only had like, if I don't have much, right? Let's say I make 15,000 pesos. Let's say I can squeeze 1,500 pesos. What nutrients do I really need to make sure I get?
Yeah, at least you should get a good basic multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, and probiotics. I mean, those would be the top 3 supplements that I would recommend for people on a limited budget.
Oh wow! I'm surprised. It's not you actually added omega-3 fatty acids into your priority list. Okay, so
at least those 3.
It's not just vitamin C and vitamin D. Okay, so the omega-3, the oils are important. Okay,
and the probiotics.
If budget is not an issue, if budget is not an issue, let's say I'm a bank manager and I make like 70 over 1,000 pesos a month. How much would you say that I should be prepared? I should have the right frame of mind to invest in my own health. What do you think is the minimum?
I can't tell you that either. But there are a lot of like super dense plants or food substances such as the microalgae. So these are nutrient dense. So at least you could actually.
Hallelujah.
So you could actually invest in those products.
You know, I asked this question because I think the pandemic highlights a mindset that we need to have. You know, when I was younger, when I was really young, when we were both really young, we didn't want to spend money on insurance, you know, because it's like, I'd rather have the money in my hand. Why should I buy insurance, right? But as I graduated from college, when I started working, I began to understand that insurance was so important that I called up my insurance agent. It was not my insurance agent hounding me. I actually called up my insurance agent telling them I need to look at insurance coverage. So there was a change in my understanding, and because of that, a change in my priority of where I spend money that comes in every month. So right now, I think that it's a growing awareness that suddenly we have to actually budget a certain amount of our income to keep ourselves healthy, you know. And I'm speaking now all those who are in my age group and Dr. Joel's age group, all right. I'm 46 years old this year. So all of you out there who are in your 40s, I want to give you a very scary wake-up call. We will likely live to 90. We will likely live 90 years old because even if we get sick, medical science will keep us alive. It may not keep us healthy, but it will keep us alive. So I feel like, and that's why you need to go to Dr. Joel's clinic, because that's where you get healthy. All right. So I realized that I'm 46 years old. I very likely have another 45 years. And I began to ask myself, how do I want to be when I'm 80 years old? I just saw a video, Doc. It's viral now, a few million people. These couple who are in their 90s dancing like extreme ballroom dancing. I don't know whether you saw that video. There's two couples, they are 90 years old, but they are like doing spinning. And my goodness, he actually swung his wife in between his legs. I was like, he was gonna throw his back or something, you know? But he did that with his wife, and they're in their 90s. And I realized in order to do that, I can't wait till I'm 80, because my ninong and my mentor actually told me my health in 20 years is determined today. So what I eat today at age 46 will determine what I will be like when I'm 66 years old. So because of that, I actually started to budget. A lot of my budget now is into supplements. So there we have it. We have today. Well, let's thank Dr. Joel. You know, he has, number one, gave us a great understanding of the immune system, and where we were able to understand some very technical terms like T cells, NK cells, macrophage, dendritic cells through the wonderful video, educational video he shared with us. Dr. Joel helped us understand the difference between the innate and adaptive immune system, and we have both parts. And that adaptive is what the vaccines are trying to stimulate. Dr. Joel also explained to us that the immune system is powerful, but it only works if you have the right fuel. So to have a strong immune system, Dr. Joel gave us some really clear directions. Number one was make sure you detox. So if you're not poo-pooing, you're building up toxicity that will compromise your immune system. Vitamin C, we all know. Vitamin D, we are not taking enough of that. And without vitamin D, your body actually doesn't produce the enzymes that actually kill. Was it enzymes, Doc?
There's CAMPs. There are peptides. Peptides
that actually kills these viruses and bacteria that come in. So big tip to everybody, when you next go to look at your supplementation, take a look at vitamin D and zinc. We are Dr. Joel's experience, and which is also validated with so much research, is that most people are zinc deficient. So again, if you don't have zinc, your blood sugar gets affected, your connective tissue, which means the strength of your tissues, all right? Everything gets affected, your immune system gets compromised. So the next time you go to a store to look for supplements, look again at zinc. And I'm very thankful Dr. Joel also highlighted something that I personally am aware as well. I also believe in natural foods, whole natural foods. But I also realize that it is so difficult when you live in a city and when, you know, it's KFC, Popeyes, when all my staff, they're always eating at Family Mart, you know, it's 99 pesos, 120 pesos, and they're eating at Family Mart, and I see them eating the same thing every day. The vegetable that they eat is rice, and the other thing that they eat is fried chicken. So really, if that's our lifestyle and that's the food that we eat, we cannot make it without supplementation. And thank you, Dr. Joel, for confirming that and also directing us for supplementation. For supplementation, Dr. Joel's recommendation was, you know, your standard, your multivites, so vitamin C, vitamin D. And he put another important category, which is your omega-3s, your fatty acids. So you got to also look into that. Usually multivitamins don't contain omega-3s. That's a separate supplement. So take a look at that. And the last thing Joel recommended, if you are on a tight budget, is probiotics.
Yeah, so if you're not able to get probiotics, you could try fermented food, such as kimchi.
Not beer, huh?
In the Philippines, we have something called achara, which is fermented papaya. Okay. So it's a good source of probiotics. Then, of course, you have kefir.
Okay. Kefir, achara. Achara is something that you can purposely pick when you next go to the cafeteria. Make sure you eat more of that. So there we have it. Thank you, Doc. That was a wonderful conversation. We talked about so many things, so many interesting things, and it was a good overview, how the different vitamins and minerals work on a different session, so that you can go out and shop and look for the one that will work for you. All right. So thank you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we look forward to having you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of Simply Healed with Dr. Joel. I hope that, like me, you've learned a lot about your immune system, about your adaptive, about your innate immune system. I certainly enjoyed that candid conversation with Dr. Joel, and there were so many tidbits and insights, like his personal views, professional views on the virus itself and the chances of a successful vaccine coming up. But I think the real take home from the webinar we had today was the solid tips that Dr. Joel gave us for the selection of supplements to maintain and boost your immune system as you get ready to get out of the lockdown and back into the working world, where you will again be exposed to many people and interactions. So Dr. Joel mentioned that vitamin C is important, vitamin D, which we are all likely deficient because we've been staying at home for 2 months, and also the omega-3 fatty acids and zinc, which works together with vitamin C to build your immune system. Well, if you're looking for all these things, let me take the opportunity now to share with you that SimplyNature PPAR tablets naturally contains natural vitamin C, the B group, the omega-3 fatty acids, natural minerals like zinc, alright, and more importantly, will contain PPAR agonists, which actually activates the dendritic cell activity, the macrophage cell, the T cells, all the immune system functions you saw in that video that Dr. Joel shared with us. So if you want to find out more, just drop us a note on our SimplyNature Facebook Messenger, alright, and we will get back to you. Alternatively, you can go directly to Dr. Joel at J Lopez Medical Group. His clinic is actually a beautiful large clinic. It's actually located in Centuria in Medical City, Makati. Alright, now before I go, I want to tell you good news. Next week, we're going to have one last webinar before the lift of the lockdown. We're going to have a very candid and special interview with Doc Maddie, and the topic is really exciting. It's a very personal topic as well. The topic is about what to do next if you've tried all the medical options already. If you've tried drugs, surgery, therapy, and yet you're not getting the healing that you want, where do you go to next? So Doc Maddie and I'll be interviewing Doc Maddie on her journey as a ER doctor. She started as an emergency room doctor and how she moved to practice integrative medicine today. And she's one of the foremost practitioners, having spent so much time and effort over the years going overseas for training. So she'll share with you insight on what integrative medicine is, and how it works with your normal medical protocols. She is still an MD, and so it's a very interesting journey as we follow her journey from an ER doctor to an integrative doctor. And I believe that will give you the insight, comfort, and confidence as you explore more options to get the healing that you want. So don't forget, just before the lockdown lifts, join us, and I'll see you next week with Doc Maddie.